jumping straight into the draft.
Yes.
First off, Nightwind banning out the Chip and the Fanny, and Everlasting Love. I almost say evil once again because the name sounds so similar, or looks so similar. They're banning out the Matilda and Lucas. Don't want to deal with the Lucas at all.
So other than that, I will say that the very generic heroes that we gotta have to ban out, or generic heroes that we gotta have to look out for, we've got the Kalia that's currently still available on the board. Kimi, Jusin, they are all in here. Granger, Harif. How about Baxia? We talked about Baxia a
Baxia.
few times before. So with Baxia currently still available on the board as well, that's something we gotta work with. Now for Nightwind though, because they do have Astro in their mix. I do have a feeling that they do want to prioritize Astro's heroes a little bit, just so
Yeah,
that
the
we can get the
assassins.
best of the best, the creme de la creme,
The cream of the crop.
creme de la crop,
Creme de la creme. Yeah.
creme de la creme.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
And looks like you're right. They
Joy.
go for the Joy.
Yeah.
But it's easy to lock the Joy down. You can have the Baxia or the Tigreal or the Hylos, which is easy single target stunts onto the Joy when they come close. It's easy to read the Joy as well, but I guess Nightwing wants to play the macro game a little bit more because Joy is one of the most reliable heroes for mid to late game side lane split pushes.
So from this point onwards, we do have the Phobius that's currently available as well. Normally, when it comes down to R1, R2, we generally look at EXP and the Mage being picked out. It could quite literally go any way, right? So Phobius. Oh, right, Kalia is available.
Ooh.
Okay, so
The
this
wrestlers
is
get picked up.
yes, Restless.
Yeah, they're wrestlers. If
Oh,
you play
oh,
Magic Chess.
Wrestlers.
The wrestlers.
The wrestlers.
Not the restless.
Yeah, I was like, why would you call them restless? Like, what did they do
I mean,
to
I
you?
don't think Phobius sleeps. Look at his eyes.
To be
Man.
fair, I think he is
That
pretty
is
restless.
the eyes of a guy that doesn't sleep.
They have no soul.
No soul. So the Kimi also gets picked up by the side of Everlasting Love. On the other hand, Nightwind will respond with the Juicin and the Baxia pick. I like the Juicin and Baxia combo in the mid lane. Because of the concussive blast that Baxia would definitely bring into the mix. Clears up fast together with Juicin and start the fast game rotation in the early game. Everlasting Love, second phase ban, taking out the Granger from the draft. Nightwind, banning out the Assassins. Doesn't want to give it over to the hands of Fate QT.
No Suyo. I think that it's probably gonna be either high. I think Fake QT did play quite a bit of Hayabusa, so I think it. Oh wait, it's already been banned. Okay, so that's out of the picture. Possibly looking at some other assassins. Hanzo being one of the notable picks.
Ling also.
Ling as well.
possible.
Okay, the Crane. But at this point, I don't think that we.
He's a finch, not a crane.
Is
A finch.
what's the difference between a finch and a crane?
I think a finch is a shorter beak. Crane is what you see in the Kung Fu Panda kind of universe, where you have like long, stocky legs. That's what it's called, a stock too.
Finch. Is that what it's called? Finch poise.
Yes. You don't know.
What the
It's
hell?
like a Chinese bird or something.
What the hell? This is a finch. That's just a bird.
Bruh, it's like a.
No, you look.
It's a finch.
Look, if it's a finch poise, people relate that
But
to like
it's-
cranes. So I'm expecting like long legs, long neck. But this is just a stubby little guy that can possibly just join us in the Short Kings podcast.
Hey, he's a short king too, man.
Yeah, exactly.
Don't put him down.
It's cute.
Yeah. Actually, this is interesting. They banned out the Leomord.
Wow.
I think QT actually played this last week, and I remember watching Deadeye and Jace actually casting that game.
Okay.
And Deadeye went crazy over the fake QT Leomord. They actually took the game off because of the high damage that it provides in the late game, just running it down.
Okay, okay. So there is definitely some possibilities of seeing Everlasting Love playing off meta picks.
Yeah.
So
I think a lot of teams are actually banning out Everlasting Love's Freya, if I'm not wrong.
oh wait, Freya. Oh yeah.
So opening that last pick, could it be
The
a Freya?
Because Freya does do splash damage, melee splash damage as well. So if you're gonna play into a Phobius, which is Comatol, Kalia that's Comatol, a Kimi that can that have the traction pulse, I think is not too bad. Like
Yeah, you do have a little bit of physical attack damage because right now your mid and gold lane, super high magical damage. Balls in their court though, so they can pick up the Freya. Oh, Hanzo.
Hanzo.
Okay.
I think it still works. Pinnacle Ninja still has quite a bit of toolkit that does pretty good AoE damage as well. So I think can play into the traction pulse pretty effectively too.
I think it's baiting out the ultimates that Hanzo is pivotal in. Haven't seen Edith in a hot minute, so refreshing to see Nightwind actually pick that up. Don't know if that would work in this composition, especially against Fake Cutie and Willy, because you have to go into the back lines as well.
Hmm.
Irithel, Juicin, big red target from Hanzo. If we're talking about like jungle matchups, I think Joy definitely clears it equal to Hanzo. The only saving grace from Hanzo is basically the first
The
skill, which
consume.
eats it. Yeah, which
Yeah.
eats the creep up. So which one do you prefer, man?
Honestly, I kind of feel that the Hanzo will put them with quite a bit of advantage. Puts Irithel as well as that Juicin in a really, really tough spot. So there's probably going to be a lot of mana wasted from the side of Juicin just to really deal with the Pinnacle Ninja. Well, in the meantime, I think that there is a pretty good win condition from Everlasting Love, especially since we want to see, you know, Kyushu locking someone down and then the Pinnacle Ninja just slashes away.
Yeah. What I like about Nightwind is actually Baksha baiting out and leashing the purple buff so that it matches the speed and tempo that Big Cutie brings in with the Hanzo. So you start out with the purple buff, Astro comes back in just to take the purple buff away, and then just starts the early game rotation. So Nightwind, even though they're a community team, even though this is the first time in the big scenes and the first time we're actually seeing them live, they're actually quite speedy in terms of their rotations.
Yeah, I think that out of the entire lineup of Nightwind, I'm pretty okay with everything. I do really love their mid lane combination, having the Juicin and the Baxia. Both of them can be very annoying to deal with in the middle lane because of the constant amount of pokes, and of course, I would say some unlimited skill usages just to clear the wave. But one thing I didn't like, the Edith. I think that Edith is kind of like out of meta now. She's still very good because of her flexibility in being tanky while still dishing out a lot of damage. But personally, I think that when it comes down to a duel kind of matchup, Nightwind is not exactly someone that just wants to stand there and duel. There is a lot more chasing factors from Nightwind. So if Guilty kind of abandons his Phylax, he's just kind of stuck there. Human form.
Speaking of which, Fake Cutie has his eyes set on Guilty, able to take him out with first blood and keeps himself safe with the Soul Devour. As Nightwind, a little bit losing one member right before the turtle, not what we want in the early game.
And of course, we also do have Bill TZ that actually wasted his Flicker on top of that as well. So one of the Earth Shatter into the Flicker combination is now out of the question. We won't see that anymore, but in the meantime, that's the pulse.
Ooh, Kaiser stuck in, slammed to the ground. There's two members chasing on him. Able to keep himself safe with the Revitalized. Looks like Everlasting Love will take control of this first turtle of the game. Unless Astro has anything to say about this, he gets the steal with the Retribution. Kyushu goes down. Big Cutie trying to run for the hills, run for his life, able to get out safe, and just using up the energy so that his soul comes back into fray and continuing that engage.
Uh-oh, Astro!
Oh, Astro, nice little kill onto Hanzo, deep into his own home.
Of course, this is Astro that have a lot of experience when it comes down to being in the MPL scene, being one of the very strong junglers back in a few seasons back.
Oh yeah, I remember him now in that was in Bears team.
I forgot. He was in a couple of teams before.
He was a couple of teams.
Yeah.
I remember him for his brethren.
I remember him when he was with... Oh crap, I suddenly forgotten. At one point in time, he was with Homeboys SG. Yeah, but then shortly switched out and joined another team, and they immediately fought up against Homeboys.
Oh yeah.
That was a fun moment.
Well, speaking of which, you have a lot of high momentum plays from Nightwind right off the bat. Already the EXP lane starting to get the rotation in the 3-minute mark and leaving the bottom side for Astro. I think this is the meta that we've seen currently nowadays. The Pos 4 immediately coming in as a secondary support for the gold laner, trying to get that farm and funnel him to infinity and beyond, especially for TCAV, who needs much more than Akashi, knowing that you don't really have a mystery shop in your favor as well.
So, moving on forward, Everlasting Love is actually just going to be congregating all the way up to the northern side. Even though the turtle is actually popping on the opposite side, Everlasting Love seems to be looking out for something. possibly the Hanzo. They want to ensure that the Hanzo is going to be safe and sound, especially after that engage, or rather the invasion from the side of Astro, just kind of yoinking Fade Cutie out of his own jungle after using the Pinnacle Ninja. Very understandable though. Astro pretty much understood that what Fade Cutie is trying to do and just yoink him out of existence.
Starting things off with the turtle once again. Second turtle of the game as Nightwind slowly pulling it out. No more traction pulse. With the side of Sus Bomba, Everlasting Love, patiently waiting for the health to diminish. So they have their targets onto something else. I think this is the dance that we see nowadays when there's two assassins on both ends. Painful. Nightwind carefully making their way down towards that turtle. No one is starting things off as of now.
Move on with Nightwind. 3 members around the turtle's pit. Joy just somewhere around the southern part of the turtle, not wanting to appear just yet, but of course using up all the dashes already. So it does seem like with Nightwind, they will want to get out of this fight.
Nice little traction pulse to start things off, but they don't want to commit at all. Lasting Love, learning their lessons from previous games. This is a very different,
Very non-committal turtle fight, actually.
Turtle fight is still pulling and pushing this turtle, getting a lot of resets, and it does look like it's the rogues who are starting things off and getting a lot of resets because they don't want to risk a lot of these big engages. They're just not ready yet.
So this is actually one of the only few situations where the turtle is just hanging around for a very long period of time.
Ooh, starting things off with the Prince of Beacon. Straight for the back line, Bill Teasy taking a little bit too much damage. Primal Wrath will be able to keep him up alive from the back line. Kaiser trying to delay the approach on the mid side. Tashi goes down with the Zaman Force, unable to help him. There's 2 members down for the side of Nightwind. Is Everlasting Love ramping up the tempo, ramping up the aggression, getting stunned up, locked up. Xavier goes down. Turtle goes over the hands of Everlasting Love.
Well, that's really unfortunate for the side of Nightwind. It kind of seems as though that they had a pretty good start, but hold on a second. It does seem like we do have Fake Cutie just working his way
Devour.
onto TCAV. Brings it down pretty darn easily. So they've got a turtle, they've got a massive amount of kills, and to add it all on top, they even got themselves the T1 turret in the middle.
Big stakes are riding on this game. Only BO1, the winner, goes off to face up against the next tier. But man, doesn't look so good for Nightwind. Yes, they had a phenomenal start, especially from Astro. Taking another kill on Fake Cutie underneath the turret. But this Hanzo is looking to be super difficult to deal with, especially since his fake body is just non-committal. Got a bottom side, landing onto Akashi, able to dash out away with the Zaman Force, getting pulled back. Purify already used up. Kaiser taking a little bit too much damage underneath the turret. Bill Teasy tanking everything with a Primal Wrath. Not enough before Akashi takes him down. Here comes the Demonic Force. This triple for Akashi.
Damn, I was initially just thinking, was that Purify actually worth it? But hold on a second, that's not going to be over just yet.
So Devour takes a huge chunk of damage. TCAV is next on the chopping block. One more hit, might not be able to get it. As Fake Cutie showing a lot of dominance in the jungle.
Oh man, Everlasting Love now do have about 5 kills ahead of Nightwind. And we're kind of looking at 3,000 gold lead as well. With the middle lane T1 and the bottom lane T1 destroyed, this pretty much means that Everlasting Love will have a lot of a better time trying to go for a little bit of that jungle invasion. And looking at the fact that it is a Joy in Nightwind's jungle, this just means that the aggressiveness of a Joy would very likely be lessened, because there's just not much of these creeps that will be around for the Joy to kind of bounce about and just appear out of nowhere with only a single dash required to unlock a full-flavored outlet.
Nice traction pulse. Won't commit as of now. First Lord already spawned up. You want to be a little bit more annoying in the purple buff, trying to force the retribution off of Ash before starting the Lord off. But Everlasting Love, they know their power spikes. They know how Nightwing wants to play this. It's a little bit difficult to claw their way back up. It's not impossible though. A nice little flicker, jump, and tsunami slam into the wall. Kakashi takes another one to his name as Kaiser barely scraping by, trying to save all the resources that he can. Kyushu falls by the hands of TCAV, but here comes Fake Cutie from the back line. Soul Devout will take that out as well. Is Everlasting Love up 6 kills, 4,000 gold.
At minute 9, we're looking at a 4,000 gold lead in favor for Everlasting Love. And now, we even got the Lord that is acquired by Everlasting Love. So this is all great and fine and dandy. We do have got Everlasting Love that can potentially be able to end the game fast.
Yeah, this is looking like an Everlasting Love that deserved to be in the seeded stage. And we've been in this position before. If Everlasting Love played it more disciplined, goes for the objective more than Nightwind, they might be able to end this in 15 minutes. It should not drag to a 30-minute, 40-minute game like we've seen
Are we jinxing it right now?
I'm not jinxing it, but hopefully that will not be the case. Let's talk about high ground for Nightwind. Do they have enough in the high ground? Do they have enough wave clear? My thought is no. They don't really have a lot of AoE wave clear, so Nightwind's gonna struggle when the Lord pushes through.
On the contrary, I do think that they have wave clear, but they have to commit a lot just to wave clear. That also means that they gotta hack that close.
Nice action pulse off Kaiser. Doesn't want to sound the alarm for now and really holds on to the Warrant Force. Everlasting Love chasing on to Astro. Knows he's very, very deep in. Not enough energy to make that commitment. And Astro tries to get that recall out. Will be safe for now. It's Everlasting Love slowly taking control of the entirety of the map. No more T2s down the top side and mid. The only turret left standing outside their own base is that T2 bottom side. There's a beacon from Xavier, keep himself safe.
Immediately popping that out just to get himself out of the traction pulse. Definitely a very important choice to make. All 5 members of the Nightwind, they have managed to reclaim their jungle, and let's not forget they did pull off a pretty good defense, and ensuring that the Lord does not touch their holy defense up in the middle lane. Although they did lose the holy defense up top, it is definitely a bummer, but the middle lane is more important.
Oh man, Big Cutie down deep. As I set on TCAF, one more hit, might be able to go down. Fake Cutie! Nice little killing spree, an assassination onto the Iridel.
There's realistically nothing much that you can do as a team from inside of Nightwind, because unfortunately they don't have much crowd control.
Yeah.
They do have Xavier, they do have Bill TZ. They are really good at, I would say, layering these crowd controls, because you can always just pop the onwards of Shatter, and then by that point in time, I think that it's already full stacks for the Yusin.
Action pulse, Kaiser will go down, but hands of Sus Bomba. Backside, they dissipate. Nightwind, I do have to echo your sentiments. Not a lot of AoE crowd controls, very single target. They need to be able to look for pickoffs, but Everlasting Love are playing as 5 members, and it's so difficult to find Fake QT left all alone to his own devices because it's always his fake body. How can you kill the fake body and try to drag that real body in with them? Astro in a spot of bother, taking a lot of hits from Fake Cutie, able to bob weave out of there as Everlasting Love sets their sights up on the next Lord.
Oh man, as such, now Everlasting Love, all 5 men in onto the Lord, very committal on this. Nightwind understands that they do not have a chance against this Lord. Even though Astro is currently at level 15, it's definitely stealable per se, but this is not the kind of jungler that have that single burst damage that you can that you can use to kind of execute the Lord, like Suyo, for example.
And as much as Astro has a lot of the core items, he's reached his critical mass, he can't just go in just like that. He needs that setup coming in from Kaiser and Bill TZ. But that does not just happen because Kyushu is dissipating the engages coming from there. Big Cutie start things off on the back line. TCAF is a huge big red target for him. Lord will be able to take down, will be able to get taken down by Nightwind. So saving themselves just for a little while. The T3 in mid-side still barely standing strong.
A very favorable defense, while in the meantime,
Big Cutie once again with the Soul Devour. Kaiser heals everything back up with a revitalized Rhythm of Joy already used up as well. And Everlasting Love holds on to the trigger. We've seen this before, and they're a very dominant team. Only in an early game, if they manage to play this disciplinedly, it is Everlasting Love's game to lose.
So with all of the forces of Nightwind just kind of stuck inside of their own base, there is realistically not much of farm that they can do. And if Everlasting Love just keeps on to this this diligence of not just shoving the wave too much and just making sure that Nightwind don't get farmed, that will always be a very good thing.
Oh, from the mid side though, they took out TCAF. That's a huge find. Tsunami slam into the wall, and over the wall. The Astro will be able to dash and bob and weave out of there. There's the Zaman Forest, one not good enough to save that. As Akashi will take down 1, 2, 4 members down, and Xavier against the world. Not enough minions though, they might not be able to take it as Fake Cutie will be able to devour Xavier!
Oh.
The traction pulse will not be reaching long enough to trap Xavier into the fray as the throne will be tackled on by Everlasting Love. What a dominant performance
They
from EVL.
for the first time for today, they managed to get a win under 20 minutes. You know, the time is just getting shaved down
Hey,
more and more.
low sample size.
Low sample size, yeah. But to be fair, we have already reached a point whereby there's total of 3 games from them. So we've already can, you know, kind of make it not 50-50 already.
Yeah.
Yeah, so out of these 3 games is like a 33.33% recurring.
Hey, you know, the next game that Everlasting Love needs to face up against is Absolute Zero.
Oh,
No, not Absolute
not
Zero.
Absolute Zero.
Sovereign.
Sovereign.
So this is the 40-minute game that we played just now. Hopefully that won't be the case again. But man, I know this is a traumatic experience.
Very.
I'm having
very
shivers
trauma.
right now.
Massive, massive trauma. Oh.
We got a stats.
I do not want to talk about that. I do
We
not
got a
want to
stats.
talk
Let's
about
focus on
what's
this
coming up
game
next.
first.
Okay, let's talk about this, right? 17-4 is this current scoreline between Everlasting Love versus Nightwind. Unfortunately for Nightwind, they were unable to take control in the early stages of the game. I gotta have to say there is definitely there are some attributes that kind of changed and made things a little bit tough for them to even do anything because of, for example, number 1, the EXP lane. It's not much that this Edith is able to do most of the time. Number 2, Astro is of course playing as a Joy. You want to prioritize onto Astro. You want to enable Astro to be able to kind of like start roaming around and really start to give vision. But unfortunately, I don't think that Kaiser nor Xavier managed to give that kind of vision for Astro and help them understand that, okay, we've got this target, we're going to go for this target. They're mostly playing a very reactionary game based on what EVL is throwing at them.
To be honest though, Fake Coyote had a beautiful game. He knows his target is TCAV. Go straight for TCAV, risk his own life, and it's all non-committal. You can deal as much damage as you want, and you can be safe as sound as you want to be, as long as your big body or your soul is actually separated. So I think that was a beautiful game, especially for Fake Cutie, and I think he is my personal MVP for this game, and my MVP for not actually dragging this game out into a 40-minute long game. But
Yes,
hopefully
I love them for that.
Hopefully so. Next game will be a rematch between Sovereign and Everlasting Love. So we'll see what will play out again this time around.
They better not give me a 43.33 minutes game, but too early to say. Don't want to say anything. But of course, MVP, we gotta have to talk about that, right? Because when it comes down to Fit QT, it's very likely that it's gonna be the MVP.
I agree.
High score lines, low amount of death, and all that jazz. So Fit QT, looking out for that.
Yeah, it's a life hack. It's
I'm
auto
gonna
attack
try it
and
right now.
autopilot. Yeah. So you
I'm
can
gonna
try it. But before you try it, we are going to take a look at the MVP of the game. It will be Fake Cutie as Hanzo, not Hayabusa, for 1 and 4 with 11,000 total gold, 47% kill participation. He has the Trinity build, which I really actually love on top of this Hanzo because you have a lot of attack speed. You can melt down the tanks. That's where the Edith was basically a non-factor. The Boxia was basically a non-factor, and you have to deal with him flying into your face.
4-1 is 4. There's actually not a lot of kills going on in that game, isn't it? I think that they're
No.
mostly playing a lot more on objective, so I think that that's pretty much fine. But Fit Cutie, congratulations on being the MVP, and this is the first win for Everlasting Love for the day.
Yes.
And this is where it actually counts, because this is the last chance qualifiers. They're going up against, as you said before, is Sovereign.
Yeah, that
Sovereign
is
SG.
the revenge match.